Hi, I'm Mike Hutjens, Extension Dairy Specialist at the University of Illinois. Let's discuss a bit about the impact of the 2013 U.S. record corn crop that's been reported by USDA and what impact that could have on dairy economics and the dairy enterprise. The data released in November 8th indicated that we had almost 14 billion bushels of corn. Let's get some perspective on that. That was up significantly from the September estimation, which was 13.8 billion bushels of corn. That may look like a small number, but those millions of bushels really have impact on the marketplace. The previous high yield was 13.1 billion bushels back in 2009. So lots of corn in the United States. Now, there's lots of surprises with the corn crop. Certainly, nobody anticipated perhaps this type of production because of the weather challenges. Spring delayed planting in many parts of the upper Midwest especially. We had corn planted. Actually, there was 3 crops in most parts of the Midwest: the May corn, the June corn, and the July corn. Then in August came some really dry weather that had crops looking really good, and people were saying, I wonder what type of yield reduction we're going to take. Must be some interesting genetics in our corn crops. And of course, right now, there's still a lot of wet corn up in the upper Midwest. Reports of corn over 28% moisture and really not changing much with the November cooler weather setting in. So the word we heard from crop producers were better than expected. So where did this corn come from? 18 states, according to USDA, had record corn yields. Now, this is not yield per acre. This is total corn yield. And you can see some very impressively important corn states: Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, New York are on the list. A number of southern states were also listed there. Iowa did not join that group as far as having record yields. Their production is 2.2 billion bushels. And meanwhile, Illinois almost became number one. We can never catch those folks in Iowa at 2.1 billion bushels. So you can see that Iowa had some other issues that perhaps we did not share in the other I states. So what does this mean to dairy farms? Well, I looked at 2 scenarios. The first one simply says if we're going to feed corn grain to dairy cows, and I'm going to assume 10 pounds of corn grain fed on an as-fed basis, this could save you about 36 cents per cow per day. That's a lot of money. Many farmers, of course, feed corn silage, and of course, corn silage prices are also lower because of the price of corn. Typically, you take 10 times the price of a bushel of corn, and that's your corn silage price. So if corn is projected to be $4.50 a bushel, then corn silage about $45 a ton. That could save you anywhere from 30 to 60 cents per cow per day, depending if you're feeding 10 to 20 pounds of corn silage dry matter. Not only that, but there are some corn byproducts that are going to be very attractive as well. I used the October 2013 summary that came from Dr. Victor Cabrero using FeedVal 2012 computer software program. And in the orange are the break-even prices, and in the white numbers are tentative prices here in Illinois. So a quick look at corn gluten feed. A computer says it's worth $266 a ton, and you can buy that for around $200 a ton. You can lock that in for about 3 months if you wish. Corn distillers grains, the break-even price $360 a ton, and currently you can buy that around $220 a ton. You can also buy the wet a little bit cheaper, so that's also out there as well. Hominy grain, break-even price $234 a ton. The price that FeedVal had listed was $110 a ton. The other interesting number was they also looked at corn price, and they used a value of $4.50 a bushel. And the computer said with today's feed prices, you could almost pay up to $6.90 a bushel. Not sure we need to tell the corn producers that, but basically corn is still a real steal at $4.50 a bushel. So what's our take-home messages? Well, certainly the record corn yields are going to lower the cost to feed dairy cattle. That could be as much as $1 per hundredweight, depending how many different corn products you're using and how much you have positioned in the feeding program. Current feed costs range from anywhere from $7.50 to $8.50 per hundredweight. So you can see this $1 per hundredweight is a big number, a big savings. So that certainly could improve the profit margins. There's also a question of how much corn is going to go into ethanol, and there's going to be some potential movement of less corn going to ethanol, which could put some more pressure on corn prices as well. Well, that completes our program for today. Thanks. Have a great day.